This company is riding one of the most powerful trends out there. First off, read this disclaimer carefully. We are looking at two themes in this video, specifically virtual workplace, but let's just quickly look at the workplace disruptors. So here you have companies in the workplace disruptor space. So you have some marketing AI, anti-regulation, gig economy staffing, freelance platform. What we will look at in this video is virtual workplace. Here you can see a list of companies. The company we will look at specifically now is DocuSign. They are leading in digital contracts. Here you can see the distance from the 52-week lows, huge gain of 136%, and very close to all-time highs. Here is the company's website, DocuSign. Yeah, of course they have their stance on the pandemic. Here you can see a list of companies they work with. You get Apple, Uber, Santander, Visa, huge names. Let's just quickly look at the About Us page. Since inception in 2003, DocuSign has been on a mission to accelerate business and simplify life for companies and people around the world. We pioneered the development of e-signature technology, and today DocuSign helps organizations connect and automate how they prepare, sign, act on, and manage agreements. As part of the DocuSign Agreement Cloud, DocuSign offers eSignature, the world's #1 way to sign electronically on practically any device from almost anywhere at any time. This is, a very, very big thing nowadays, with many companies being pushed very hard into digitalization. Our platform has built 350 plus pre-built integrations with popular business apps. That's huge. In addition, our API enables embedding and connecting DocuSign with customers' websites, mobile apps, and custom workflows. Today, more than 500,000 customers and hundreds of millions of users in over 180 countries use DocuSign to accelerate the process of doing business and to simplify people's lives. And here you can see some numbers, fast facts. Let's jump into the charts. Here you have the long-term picture, weekly data points for DocuSign. Docu is the ticker. Within this entire time frame, we have a 160% gain. Let's measure here from this low to the recent, intra-week high was 190%. The RSI, as you can see, it is a bit extended. The accumulation distribution line, it doesn't really corroborate the latest push. Hence, even though from a long-term standpoint, I am very bullish on DocuSign and the entire virtual workplace theme, you could make a relatively strong case that this temporarily is a short-selling candidate. It simply is very overextended, and historically it does have declining cycles. Let's actually measure the cycles here. Maybe we can do some cycle analysis. Well, where is the cycles? Here are the time cycles. Let's see if we can find some cyclicality here. Yeah, we do find some cycles here. Maybe we have to modify the cycle patterns a bit, like that, and move them around. Yeah, but long term I'm bullish, but you could certainly make, a short selling case for this stock at this point. You do also see that previous week's candlestick, it did show us some signs here of exhaustion. But let's be perfectly clear, long term I am certainly bullish. Here are the daily data points. Yeah, so here you can see there is some slight deterioration. We are above most key moving averages, dipping a bit below here actually the 10-day moving average, which was support here and the 5-day has become a resistance, which corroborates that there could be some downside, some pullback. The RSI, it's pulling back as well, of course, with price action. Yeah, this, for all intents and purposes, looks, it looks good. It is bullish, but from, a more shorter term perspective, it would make sense to have maybe revisiting the 50-day moving average, which we actually did rather frequently back in the day. Yes. And you can see here that the statistical correlation with the S&P 500, that is really difficult to see. Well, yeah, it's minus 20% negative correlation. Yeah. Okay, that's DocuSign. That is the charts. Let's look a bit at the fundamentals. Okay, so here you have the fair value analysis. It is considered to be rather overvalued. Beta is 69. Interestingly, less volatile than the market. Market cap, $19 billion US. Let's look here at the analysts. Here are the recommendation ratings, 2.1. That's bullish, but you could make the case that the price is rather overextended in the price target. So the current price is $103.52. The price target is 90. Okay, that's quite significantly less than where we are now. Yeah, so yeah, it's a great stock, but certainly gone too far. Looking at Sachs, they have a number to buy, F value rating, A growth, and C momentum. No dividend, but that is not a huge surprise. Here you can see from Teletrader, you can see that year to date, 40-ish% gain, 83% over the last year. Let's now have a very important segment about inflation. Okay, so inflation, that is when prices of products and services, they rise, they go up. It measures the purchasing power of a currency in percentage. Rising inflation is definitively the standard around the world, and that is what the entire economy is used to. Inflation, it can manifest itself in different ways. One of the classic ways is to look at food prices, experiencing inflation, but sometimes you also see inflation accelerate in specific parts of the economy. You could make a very strong case that in the US stock market we have seen this peculiar concentration of the inflation force, much stronger than what we've seen in other places. Salary tries to keep up with inflation. That's very important, to stabilize the political system's legitimacy. Rapid inflation can quickly cause a crash and create a lot of radicalization. Just look at the precursors to World War II. Managing inflation is key for central banks. The Federal Open Market Committee targets an inflation rate of 2%. Here are some inflation indexes. Consumer Price Index, famous one, Producer Price Index, and Wholesale Price Index. Here are some of the consequences of inflation. It increases market uncertainty. Exports become more expensive, loss of purchasing power, elites benefit especially, and lenders might suffer. To sum up, DocuSign is definitively a very interesting company in a very interesting sub-industry, which I call virtual workplace. And you could see some of the other companies in that space as well. I got an interesting email in the weekend, and it was about productivity software companies, and the things that when I create, let's look at the themes, because you could make the case, of course, that Microsoft and Google are also, you could fit them in this category. The thing is that when I make these themes, I do not want any repeats, meaning when I have like a company like Google, I don't want Google to be in multiple categories. And I think that when which fitted the essence of Google was actually artificial intelligence, alphabet, search, and advertising. Hence, when I make these themes, I try to make them as pure play as possible. And here you can see the distance from the 52-week lows, and there are some very substantial gains here, especially when compared with the S&P 500, which is a very general key benchmark. Okay, whatever you do, of course, you want to let the trend be your friend. If you look a bit at, let's look at the futures, what they are up to. We are seeing some tension today, for sure. The futures are down almost 1%, but this is still very early.